JJ.
JJ.
And
Lupus Straight Up.
we are dancing through the flares, and baby, with this rain, I forgot my wristband because my hand is killing me, baby. Yes, it is. And I can't find my wristband because I have these little knots on my hand, and this is generic, but they keep saying, well, you need to kind of wear these. And I said, or what happens? Well, we need to do surgery. I'm like, okay, well, let me wear them, but it's not helping. JJ, would you like to say something?
Yes, just some TLC sometime would be a little bit helpful. You need to massage for a little bit when you get cold like that. When we get season at the season level, our bodies seem to ache a little bit more, and when the weather changes, we feel a little bit more different than we actually do when we're younger. So that's why I said season, not out of respect of proper words to choose in this time and date.
And that's the best way to do it. But we'd like to introduce our guests at this time, and we have our favorite lady, first lady of No Static Radio, Miss Denise Cunningham. No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
First of all, Decisive is the first lady of No Static Radio.
Yes.
I am the other.
What,
the other lady.
What is your topic? Okay.
She's the queen mother.
Queen mother.
Let me explain, because I explain this to all of my kids in BBC in Vacation Bible School.
Okay.
Okay, so all my girls are my princesses. They are my divas, my junior divas.
Okay.
See, a junior diva is not cocky, she is confident. You understand? She cannot be a princess because then she would take her mother's place. See, so the queen is sitting right there. But that leaves me to be the Dowager Empress.
Oh, right now, I like that.
So, but thank you anyway, because I'm the second third of No Static Radio. I'm also drag racing ultimate sport. We have some extremely wonderful people in the studio with us today, and I thought your show would be the best to bring them on. So you know what? I have Irma sitting next to me, and the easiest way for you guys to get to know them is to let them tell you all about themselves. So
Okay.
we're gonna start with Irma first.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Irma Figueroa, and I'm an NGC membership growth consultant at the wonderful dedicated Senior Medical Center. We have 3 locations, but I'm normally in Maple Heights, and I'm honored to be here today to share a little bit about it. And with me, I have my boss, Fernando Feliciano, and he is going to speak a little bit more about it.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for having us on your show, and for all the kindness and warmth and love. So we greatly appreciate that. My name is Ray Feliciano. I am the manager of growth and business development with Dedicated Senior Medical Center here in our Cleveland market. We are a primary care physician's office with a model that's called value-based. A lot of people don't know what the term value-based care means. What value-based means is, the best way to describe it is comparing it to fee-for-service. Fee-for-service is what most Americans have.
Yes, that means you have no health care.
Well, exactly. So fee-for-service.
Very little.
Fee-for-service is what I have. I go to my doctor, right?
Okay.
He sees me for 5 minutes, has no idea anything about me, who I'm from, what I do. That's fee-for-service. Fee-for-service is most primary care physicians that are fee-for-service have between 3,000 and 4,000 patients.
Oh, okay.
That's fee-for-service. Most Americans have fee-for-service, where you have an extremely high patient volume. You don't get a lot of time with your doctor.
Okay. When people get on their plans, say like if they had Cigna or something like that, or PPO, HBO, HBO, I'm sorry.
I got you.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is that is not fee for service.
So yeah, I'll explain the difference. So,
Okay.
So what you're describing is insurance, basically.
Yes.
Right. So, and what we are at Dedicated, we're actually a primary care physician's office. We're a doctor's office.
Okay.
But in order to become a patient of ours, you have to have Medicare, right?
Okay.
And most people qualify for Medicare at the age of 65. Some people qualify earlier than that, depending on disabilities,
Yes.
depending if they get special help from the government,
Yes.
for resources. So you have to have a Medicare Advantage plan.
Okay.
And what you're describing is insurances. So there's HMOs, there's PPOs, so there's
PPOs.
different types of insurances. But fee for service is actually a term that we like to use in the medical field where it describes the type of medical treatment you're getting.
Okay.
So like you go, you pay $30 copay for an office visit, right? My doctor saw me for 5 minutes. What does he know about me in 5 minutes?
Right. Right.
So that's fee for service. What value-based care is it's about we get paid on how healthy we keep our patient.
Okay.
We don't want our patients to go to the emergency room. So what we do is we see our patients monthly. We'll see or as often as needed, right? We want to keep them out of the emergency room. A lot of times, especially in our communities, in the communities that are underserved, and that's the communities that Dedicated focuses on, because that's who we feel like that needs the most help. It's a shame, but a lot of our senior citizens in our communities use the emergency room almost as a doctor.
As a doctor.
Which is extremely unfortunate because, they have Medicare. They work their whole lives. So, and a lot of them just will have straight Medicare, not realizing that you get an Advantage plan for free. And it's just extra benefits.
Yeah.
So value-based really concentrate, it's high touch. So like I said, we see our patients monthly. Our doctors will have at most 300-400 patients. So our doctors are going to know not only who you are as a person, they're going to know who your daughter is, who your grandchildren are.
So it's
I
like
love
hands-on.
Exactly. You couldn't describe it any better. It's very hands-on. Very hands-on. You're absolutely right.
And well, I'm picking up from what you're maybe not saying or being through the lines, just being a good listener. It's a community outreach, and it's based on the community that it serves. It's more
People of color.
no, it's I won't even say tax bracket or anything like that. Just the people that may need more assistance versus in and out type of patient.
Yes.
That's saying, and the purpose of the program is to help build a community to stay healthier versus saying, well, I need an ambulance, I'm feeling sick, my stomach's hurt, I don't have a primary doctor to call. Or I guess there would even be more male, not being no chauvinist anything, or more males that do not want to go to the doctor, make a doctor appointment, and they use it's sedative as far as beer, wine as another way of healing versus actually going to see a physician. So they may be in a lot of pain, so they say, well, beer helmet, some other time, and then they deteriorate. And some of them may be manicky and be depressed. There's more areas that derive under that same umbrella as far as actually reaching out and say, hey, I didn't know that this program was here. Thank you. I'm going to seek the assistance to my benefit because it's here. It's a program either maybe government funded or private funded or donations. It's a program that may need just a little bit. Hey, well, we're here for you. And some people don't realize what they have in their own community because they don't.
You're absolutely right.
Go beyond the corner store and back home on the porch or on the corner with the guy shooting dice and drinking beer. And then you have some, no disrespect to the ladies, that watch your stories. And,
no, but there's no stories anymore.
No.
There is.
Watch
I'm
your
stories.
My good ones are gone.
Well, the stories nowadays is power. And some of the other programs that may come on that may have,
But you can,
it has an idea of what is actually how being cold out here in the world is nowadays versus seeing. Let's do something about our health.
Yes.
We have a program that's here for us. how about we take advantage of it and not really, like I'm saying, utilize what we have, the resources to use for it.
See,
Sometimes we don't realize that we
and
have
that's
resources.
getting back to you, Ronaldo, because until I met Irma at it's like it was a venue for senior citizens and men, you know, I never heard of you guys. So
This
my
is my
question
first
is,
time.
right. So my question is, and you said there are patients out there, they refer to you. How, I mean, we don't know.
So, but thank you for asking. And back to this, but he had a bunch of great points that I'll expound upon a little bit. But to your point is dedicated. Dedicated is a ChenMed company, so we originated actually in Miami back in the '80s. So we are known throughout. We have medical centers all throughout the country, but we originated in Miami. So we're been in the Cleveland market for just about 3 years. So I'm one of the original MGCs when we came to when we got here to Cleveland. So it took some building. We had to get out there and kind of boots on the ground and really get out there and advertise everything that we were doing, as a company, and everything that we were doing for our community. So, and then you got to remember, you're going up against a giant like UH, Cleveland.
Right.
Northeast Ohio is the capital of medical, pretty much of the world.
Right.
Clinton has his own zip code.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, yeah.
And their idea is to just MRI, CT, sonogram, just everything, and that's for somebody that comes in and they don't know what's wrong with them. Instead of just like you say, doing the monthly, and I think that's great because especially for lupus people who just have a situation and can explain and have more time, because even our rheumatologists have been given set times now. Because before my rheumatologist could just talk and talk and talk and talk. Not anymore.
Oh yeah, my regular doctor, if you are there 2 minutes, he says, well, you only got 18 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
So they just like 20 minutes, and first I waited 20 minutes to even
Oh
see you.
yes.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yes.
now we're down to what, 10 minutes, and he swings a computer around and says, well, you did this last time, you did this last time, and
that's unacceptable.
It is.
And I'm so glad that you brought it up. My mother, God bless her heart, was near and dear to my heart. My wife, I have my beautiful wife, Yvette, and I have 2 children, Sebastian and Celeste. My mother, Marie, we take care of my mother. She suffered a stroke a couple years back. And she bounced back. My mother's a very tough, resilient woman.
Wonderful.
But also, we also feel like my mother could have been prevented because, her doctor was seeing her when she was only sick. Right?
Yes.
Where what Dedicated does, no, we're preventative. We're going to see you on a monthly basis. We want to prevent you from getting sick.
Right.
So we're running tests to make sure that you're okay, that that you're seeing your oncologist or your gastroenterologist or whatever specialist that you may have. So a lot of the tests, a lot of all of our appointments is preventative. So we want to keep you out of the hospital.
But now, how scary is that? Because I get what you're saying, and I think that's wonderful. It's preventative, but you're also saying monthly. And to somebody, monthly is like, I don't have that kind of money. So I'm going to see you this month and figure out what to do.
Yes.
It's like going to a therapist. So I can afford you this one time, and you show me what to do. I'm going to go home and try it. So
so that's another great point. So we have waivers that we can waive, office co-pays for. So like I said, we understand that the community that we serve are in our communities. Like the gentleman said, he said a lot of times you're shooting dice around the corner, whatever. That's how people sometimes self-medicate. Well, at our centers, how we self-medicate is we have bingo events.
Oh.
We have church. We'll have Bible study. We'll have chair aerobics. We'll have Zumba. And this is all in all of our medical centers that we do all of this, because it's not only about taking care of their physical well-being, but their mental well-being. And going back to your point, it's not necessarily like I said, we will waive if somebody doesn't. It's not hey, here's we need this money. No, you can ask Irma. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
And once Medicare pays for everything, And a lot of people don't know that. People have Medicare. They say, "Oh, I have Medicare. I have everything that I want."
No, you
No,
don't.
you don't.
No.
Medicare,
you
the
don't.
government will pay for an Advantage plan, and I encourage everyone. Those Medicare Advantage plans. There's a lot of great plans out there that Medicare specialists can discuss. If you want, I can bring a Medicare specialist to discuss this with you.
That would be good.
Yeah, because that's their specialty. So I don't want to speak on their specialty.
Because I'll tell you what, I just got one at my job when I turned 65. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love you.
Well, you
When
look
I
nice.
turned 65, you automatically
Got bombarded,
see,
right?
you know what? See, he thinks he's too young, he's too old to get a whooping, but y'all turn your head about it. They automatically gave you Medicare Part A, and that's just for hospitalization. And so I'm paying for Part B. So I had no idea there was a plan out there.
I have the advantage because of the disability,
See,
and they call me
Yeah.
all the time, and it's just.
they get on you.
I just, they
Yeah.
call me so
It's
much.
J.J. Walker selling insurance on TV, and Joe Namath, and yeah, it's sad because it's being preyed upon. Our senior
You're preyed upon.
The senior population is preyed upon. Like during AEP, which is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell my mother, "Mom, don't answer the phone."
Yes.
Because it's going to be. Somebody from California trying to get her out of her medical mutual plan into an Aetna plan or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I tell my mom
yeah.
all the time, don't during AEP, don't answer.
It's horrible,
It
and
is.
they will call me, and they're very misleading now. I mean, I've never
Yes,
seen
yeah.
anybody so just scheming. It's almost you're like. The orange man.
Because they'll tell you, we see that you were asking about this. Like, who are you? And I never asked you.
Right.
The government is putting a lot of restrictions on it now, so CMS is really kind of cracking down on that. So there's like a lot of new rules. They have to record themselves because, a lot of people are being taken advantage of. They call it senior scams. We actually do events in our center about senior scams. And we'll have someone come in and show people age 55 and over how to avoid being scammed over the phone, because if my mother's at home and someone calls her over the phone who sounds exactly like me because of AI, artificial intelligence, people are getting scammed thinking that it's their son, their grandson.
He
you
won
wired me
$2
$5
million.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's, and I will honestly say that I've been with Dedicated now just about 3 years, and it is truly amazing the services that we offer and what goes on in those buildings. It's not necessarily just high touch and like you said, about taking care of the person, but a lot of times a lot of our seniors, they're single, or they're widowed, so they don't have those activities, and then we offer free transportation.
But then how do they find you? I mean, how do they know that you're there? I mean,
This right here, this is amazing by you having us on here. This is we're it's grassroots is how we started. We came here obviously. We did Facebook ads and we did social media. But now we are becoming very popular throughout Northeast Ohio and Ohio because we're located in Cincinnati and Columbus as well. So our 3 centers that we have here right now are the West Park Center, which is on 137th and Lorraine. And then we have Maple Heights, which is on the corner of Lee and Libby. And then we have Collinwood, which is on 152nd and St. Clair.
wow. Back up. On the corner of Lee and Libby, it was the old
Walgreens,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh.
That's us.
Yeah, so can I add, I just want to be a testament to, the great work that you guys do.
Thank you, I love that.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, I used to drive Lyft, and I loved picking up the people from the Dedicated Senior Medical Center. Like, all they do is talk about how great it is there. How they feel good, how they have a good time, they walk out feeling better, even more confident about their health. And then you guys give away goodies too, like, breads and stuff. Like, I packed up many a trunk days, from them being able to take home stuff that is much needed. So thank you guys.
Oh, I really
Wonderful.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
wonderful.
We really appreciate that because it makes us, because it's a very tough business to be a part of because people are very non-trustworthy, especially
Yes.
in the Hispanic and Black communities. We're very very cautious. know,
Very.
I know. I'm in West 25th and Clark, so I know how
Okay.
the Spanish community is. So, so it's very tough to offer these services when a lot of our seniors are very guarded.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, she's absolutely right. I mean, from laundry supplies, from cleaning supplies to clothes to food, we give away free food every Friday at our medical centers.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
like it's like the list goes on and on and on. It really does.
I'm just gonna put this out here that you're here now, and there are a lot of people listening to you right now. You need to
We
be
are
heard.
global.
Yes, we are global, but you need to be heard more. So we'll talk about that after the show.
Thank you so
And
much.
Decisive will run you down and run you over because my daughter's the best.
Thank you so much.
And by the way, her
have
name is
other
Marie.
entities
Beautiful
we can
name.
turn you on to.
Beautiful name.
But
Thank you so much.
I met Irma. We talked, and it was just like we've been friends forever. It was so easy. So for her, and for her to just be I mean, she calls me all the time. So, oh my God, this is you, the person I talked to today. We had so much fun, and and the person is next thing going, "Hi, Mom, don't know who this is, but she just picked it up."
Yeah.
And so that is so awesome to hear because if you can make people relax like that, and I'm a big baby. Me and Needles don't like each other.
Oh, I didn't
I'm
know
bad.
that.
I'm bad. So, I mean, if you can calm me down, you're good.
Yeah.
But just to know that you're doing so much, and do you ever think there'll be a time where you'll just get so big that you're overwhelmed or?
You know what? We're doing well right now, but and the concept is always to keep our patient panel low because that's how we're able to take such good care of our patients.
Wonderful.
But I do believe because of the success of value-based, that I believe in the future value-based is going to be all through. That's all you're going to see. I think fee-for-service will be dead in 15 years. That's just my opinion because fee-for-service doesn't work. And it's been proven, like I said, going back to, earlier you had stated when you go to the doctor and then he just flips around this computer, and he's actually looking at the clock because guess what? They triple booked you.
Yes,
So
they
put
do.
your appointment and there's 3 other people with that same exact appointment.
And it's amazing.
And if you're late,
Yeah.
10 minutes, you're rescheduled,
Like
but you
10
wait
to
for
15
them
10 to
forever.
15 minutes.
Yep.
You
And
got a
doesn't
15 minute
And
window.
he does. He has this huge screen, and luckily, I'm blessed. I can read the screen. Somebody else may not be. What are you talking about? I don't even see what you're looking at. And he does this. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Yep.
And the next time is when you don't feel well. So.
You're absolutely right. I remember when my mother first had her stroke. I was taking all of her appointments right after, and I just had started working with Dedicated at the time. And I remember taking her appointment out before I never paid attention to it because I just thought that was the medical field. But now I'm paying attention because now I'm working in the medical field. I work
Right.
for a doctor's office, so I took her to the Cleveland Clinic. No knock on the Cleveland Clinic. I mean, they're a global giant. We know that. But we sat in the waiting room for it was probably about 34 minutes, and I'm actually looking at my watch because I'm like, this is crazy. We sat in the waiting room for about 34 minutes. Called us back to the exam room. Sat there for about another 22 minutes. The doctor saw her for 6.
Exactly. Thank you.
They make you want to take off your
I said, this
shoes
is
or
unacceptable.
whatever.
And I said, I am working, and that's when I realized, okay, I love what I do. And that's when I realized that Dedicated Senior Medical Center and ChenMed is actually making a difference in seniors' lives every day.
You know what? I think what is more important is that I'll go back to my mother-in-law before she passed away. Okay, and I'm asking because she went in at that time. Weren't you an STNA at that time? Boo?
Yes.
Okay, they had no idea who she was. She just happened to have on the same outfit they did, and she went in before. She went in before visiting time, visiting hours. Sat there all day long. They just figured you saw her in there. That's fine.
Yep, gave her a bath and everything.
Sure
Wow.
Took her outside, gave her some sun.
Yeah, she went in, and I said, "What are you doing for her?" And the answer I got was, "Well, she's up in age, and these things happen." And I said, "So if this was your mother
Right.
laying here, that would be your same attitude." Well, it happens. She's 80 something.
Well, I had a similar experience when 60 had to go to one of the emergencies. I just happened to have a uniform, like cleaning, housekeeping,
I had a seizure.
And by me having like a housekeeping uniform on, yeah, no problem. But the first time I went through this, oh, you can't come in here. You only can have one person here. And my sister wanted to come see her and see what was going on because she was concerned. Hey, you know, okay, well, let me come down. I'm on my way. You know, so they said, well, only one person can be here at 10. I said, go ahead, sit down. I'll be right back. I walked out to the car, turned around, come right back in. They said, and then I looked and saw the guy who was doing the cleaning. They had the same kind of outfit I had on. So I said, that was the blessing in disguise. I said, I told you I was be right back. And it was like, to be by her side when she had that issue.
Because I was about to drive somewhere.
But here's the thing, that's what I'm saying, to have someone that actually cares.
Yes.
And then when you can't be there, because it got to the point, even with my dad, it got to the point where, and he got excellent care. He got knocked out. But I think it was because they never knew he was going to show up.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
They never knew he was going to show up. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I would come at 7 in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
You know, she'd be there whenever she be at some stop by. So they never knew. They were awesome to him. I mean, he got excellent care.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, just to know that somebody cares for real, because you've been in that situation, it's a godsend.
It's
Yeah, we appreciate that. And there's a lot of thought that went behind it. Like, all our medical centers are one floor. So you don't have to take 3 elevators, make a left, make a right, follow the white line, follow the yellow line.
yes,
You know, so everything,
yes.
it's all one floor, right? We have medications on site.
Swear.
We have medication on site, free transportation, labs, blood work, everything is done right there on site. We have
Wonderful.
podiatry on site.
Oh.
So it's like, lack of a better word, like a one-stop shop. So it's really about, you know, taking care of our senior patients. You know, they worked. They earned the right to have wonderful health care, right?
Yes, they have.
Okay,
And that's
question.
what dedicated for. Yes.
Okay, what's when you say senior citizen? I mean, because we have some young seniors, and they have, I think, some of them at 55 or older, qualified to follow the guideline, and sometimes we would say you would make you get some of them a pass that really needs the help and the assistance as far as even I think maybe even seeking employment if they have certain skills or can have the skills that they acquire being in another setting, as long as they have skills to be able to follow instructions, be clean, and basic things like, you know, outside masks about food, clothing, and shelter. So I mean, how would a person apply if they are not
Of age, you're saying?
What is the age?
So to be a patient of dedicated, you have to be 55 and over.
Okay.
So 55 and over, but having Medicare is one of the requirements because Medicare is what covers the cost of it. And we also have Medicare specialists that are on site at our buildings, you know, that help and assist people.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
a Medicare specialist is well, you know, I would encourage everyone, you know, if you are of age and you have Medicare, to sit down with a Medicare agent or a Medicare specialist, people call them brokers, sit down with them because, you know, their job, and you don't pay them out of your pocket, the government pays them, right?
They do.
So yeah, so it's and what their job is to put you in a plan. Exactly, yeah. Their job is to put you in a plan that is beneficial for you. Not for me,
It's
but for
for
you.
me,
Exactly.
yes. Because I need dental like 400% because of my Sjogren syndrome, and my rep did find me a good dentist
Good.
and a good program for that. But it's hard to find one that really suits you, and it took me a long time because I found maybe 3 before him that weren't really concerned about that.
Well, how do you know how to come there? I mean, I said, you know, how do you know, like, I'm a junior senior citizen.
I'm 5 years away. Yes, I'm right there too.
But
Oh, no, I'm
see,
older
nothing
than
is
you.
advertised. Is this word of mouth more
Yeah,
or?
that's
So yeah. So it is. We're you know we're very heavily tapped into the community. We go to food pantries. We go to churches. We are in a lot of senior buildings, whether it's we're in the senior apartment buildings or CMHA. So we're all throughout Northeast Ohio. So a lot of it is word of mouth or physically seeing us at an event.
Okay.
Like meeting
Yes.
Miss Irma, which
Like,
Miss Irma's awesome. She's one of our MGCs. and Irma is actually, I call her Miss Irma, but Irma is actually our being an MGC membership growth consultant. How she is. That's how she is with her patients. So it's not something. This is not a gimmick. This is not something that just this is what we do, and this is how we treat people. And it's our values are love, accountability, and passion for the company. So, and we recite those words every single day. So,
It's like a mantra.
Yep.
So, do you have like a little motivational group before you guys get started? Do you really? Okay.
Yeah. We have daily sales meetings and huddles to talk about like what our plans and our goals are, and our motto is what we say is rescuing seniors. That's what we say.
and
We feel like
they need rescue.
they need rescuing, yeah, right.
That's what I was thinking of. that's and this is just how God works because, like I talk to everybody. Everybody knows that I talk to everybody. Yes, thank you.
Especially in church.
Well, okay, but and I just happened to stop at her table because there were several other tables that I stopped at the same time, and she and us just struck up a conversation, and it was so important because the event was geared toward men's health.
Okay.
It happened to be towards men's health, and when she said seniors, I was like, "There's just too many out here that just don't know what
Thank you.
they."
Thank you.
And see, you hear about people, especially seniors, that are cutting their medications in half to get through the month. And it's sad, especially these are elderly seniors, and I'm like, I know you have some type of coverage that can get you through the month on a regular basis. So, hopefully this.
It's that's. I mean, if we talk about that a little bit, if it's okay,
Yeah.
Our patients, I've seen it myself, Irma has seen it herself. Our patients, I mean, how many times have we seen them come in and they're on 10, 12, 13 medications? 6 months we'll have another 3.
Oh, wonderful.
Because of the high times. And but a lot of patients are over medicated.
Yes.
Something's wrong here. Here's a painkiller.
Yes.
Here's gabapentin.
Yeah.
Here's hydrochloric. Here's whatever cholesterol medication. So
Yes.
a lot of our senior population is over medicated, and that's one of the advantages of having Advantage Plan. Advantage Plan is free prescription coverage. So, and I would love if you find folks would let us, we would love to. I could come back on. I would love to come back on the show with an actual Medicare specialist who could actually, because I'm not a licensed agent, so I can't, per se go into it. Even though I know some of it, but if I would love to bring a Medicare specialist or agent on your show.
That would be wonderful.
And answer all your questions for all your listeners that
Yes.
have questions about Medicare, Medicare Advantage. What's the difference between a PPO, HMO? People have supplements as opposed to Advantage plans. What's the difference?
And they can call in at this number, 216-939-5087. I will repeat this number, 216-939-5087, if you have any questions. And feel free, because we will talk you to death.
I enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we love to have your any kind of representation, and we have other means of people that you can also talk to, because we have our lupus support group that really would love to talk to.
If you know what else I would, if you if you're okay with that, I would love to have you come to our medical center, whichever one you prefer, just to see what we do.
Yes.
We'll introduce you to our doctors, our care facilitators, and just so you can see what our model is and see what we do. Because at the end of the day, we could sit up here all day and say, hey, this is what we do, but until you really see it, and then you witness it. Like she said, she'd pick patients up and they'd be coming out whistling Dixie because of how they were treated.
And it wouldn't be hard to kind of radio from maybe set up there.
Yeah.
I talked about that as well. Yeah, we would love to do something live.
We could set up there.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That's been no static.
Yes, I love it.
We always do that. I haven't done it yet, but if we have a mouth, we will talk.
I tell you how good she is, that there was a person ahead of her, and Cece used to call the show all the time.
Yes.
And she said, every time I talk to you guys, I feel better when I hang.
Oh,
The
Yeah,
person
awesome.
that was the original hostess passed away, and we couldn't think of anybody
God
better.
rest
But
her soul.
and she's just,
That's
she's been
amazing.
phenomenal. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I appreciate her too, because she have opened many doors for me, and not to have lupus, but actually to live with an individual and individuals, because it runs in my family too. That gives me the exposure to know how it is living on the outside versus actually having the illness. So it's like I say, it's a person reincarnated again, and I get to see one more time and cherish, because I, at a young age, lost a person that they lived to 38, so that's pretty young to pass away with 3 siblings outside of myself. So I inherited diabetes from the family. So it's still, I talk about a little bit about diabetes as well as I talk about the lupus. So I mean, from the youth to adult, it still affects me. Not just because I have to live through it as a youth, but actually seeing how it, being exposed to it, and seeing how it just, if you're not health conscious, it can take you really out really fast.
Yes.
Really fast.
Yes.
So if you live life as whole, like, if it's your last day, but you don't. She has an upbeat, but it's the days. It's like JJ, and I be just trying to drag her along with me everywhere I go.
And I tell him I'm lupus tired. He knows when to.
And she
Okay.
says when she lupus tired, that means she needs some space.
see, what I think I'm getting from here too is that sometimes the caregivers can get really tired.
Yes.
It's more than a notion to be a care. And that was my dad, along with my daughter and my husband, but I was the main caregiver with him. And my father was a very strong person. My father was a detective.
I remember.
Very proud of him.
Yeah, which meant he knew everything, even when he didn't. And it was, there were some times when you didn't know if you were doing the right thing. You didn't know, what the next step was. And sometimes just to have somebody say, you know what, you've done the best you can.
Yes.
And that's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
Come over here. And that's, she even told me, that's what you guys do. Like, we're gonna take care of this person, but we're gonna make sure that you're okay at the same time. So I can't. So if someone wanted to come to your facilities, or they're looking for people, wonderful people like you, how do we find you?
Okay. So thank you for the plug with the phone number. So my name is Ray Feliciano. Like I said, I am the manager of growth and business development. Irma Figueroa, she's an MGC, a membership growth consultant. She's actually the outreach. So she's actually the one who helps bring the patient into our medical center, introduce them to the doctor, introduce them to the staff. So they can actually call Irma directly on her business phone, or they can even call me on my business phone. Is it okay if we give you?
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can.
I'm not gonna get away with this.
Take it away.
You can call me 7 days a week. I do keep my phone on Sundays or text. My number is 538-1507. Again, 216-538-1507. 7 days a week. I do answer on Sundays.
And you know what? I'm glad she said that because it brought me to a very important point that I wanted to bring when I forgot is that our patients get their doctor's personal cell phone,
That's a good
which
thing.
is huge. Exactly.
That's like
and
a house call.
and it is company and it's private policy. The doctors have to answer their phone. So yeah. So say if we have a patient who at 2 a.m. on a Monday is not feeling well, they'll call their doctor directly. The doctor answers the phone and we'll say we'll either dispatch mobile health to their house so they don't have to get that crazy emergency room bill, or the doctor will tell them, give them instructions on what to do next.
So is there a limitation? I mean, because I know some people that will call you because they got a toy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's almost scary. And I'll tell you why. When she was born, she was and my pediatrician was my pediatrician.
Yeah.
He was.
Oh, wow.
Her pediatrician.
Your pediatrician was her pediatrician.
Yes,
Wow,
it was
that's
my
awesome.
pediatrician, and he was one of those doctors that you could call, and she wouldn't wake up. So I called to find out why she wouldn't wake up, and it was so funny because he answered the phone and he said, "This is way before call ID or anything," and he says, "What do you want, Denise?"
Oh, he knew.
I was my mother. And he said, "What do you?" He said, "Only you would call me at dinner time. What do you want?" I said, "She won't wake up." He said, "Does she wake up when she's hungry?" I said, "Yeah, we should go back to sleep." Does she wake up when she's awake? He said, "Get off my phone, baby."
She's
fine."
That's a good point. That's funny.
Well, I thought there could be people out there like me.
Maybe because since we do see them monthly, there's no, we are, seeing them monthly or as often as needed. So, a lot of times, there's no need to make that phone call because I just saw my doctor 2 weeks ago. So
Right.
that is one of the big advantages of seeing our patients monthly. They do enjoy. We have people like I remember when I first started with the company, we had people. I'm healthy. I don't need this. Well, guess what? We brought him in on his first visit. We do an EKG and an echo on the very first visit. Where are you gonna get that? You're not gonna get that.
You're not.
Right.
Guess what? He was in the midst of actually having a heart attack on his first visit.
Oh, my
He was a healthy man. He's never had any health issues. Took him to emergency room. He's having a heart attack, and he's still a patient of ours to this day. So these are things that, like I said, we're due. That's why we consider it to be preventative. And hey, I'm healthy. No, I don't have any issues.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. Because you hear about those marathon people just dropping
Yes.
dead.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah.
And
So I want to just reiterate what you they have: a clothing program, chair exercises, of course, preventive.
Bingo.
Oh,
line dance.
Yeah, we do line dancing.
Oh,
We do line dancing. We have bingo events. We do. I mean, it's and patients of ours, like we have patient advocates. Like, so if we have a patient of ours who says, "Hey, would you mind if I came up here and did a Bible study?" Yeah, we have a huge activities room. You can use our room for Bible study. Yeah, it is really special.
We love this.
That's why I really want you folks to come in so you can see for yourself what goes on.
We need to do this.
Yes.
And pass the word around, especially at the church too, because we have several. I would say 60% elderly.
Yeah, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Really quick, you guys, we are at the top of the hour, and first of all, I just want to once again thank Ray and Irma from the Dedicated Medical Senior Center for coming in, and we want to remind you guys that if you know a family member, or a friend, or a loved one who's been affected by violence, know that violence can affect your life in all types of ways. It can affect the way you eat, sleep, because you lose focus, you're angry, afraid, or even use drugs or drinking as a way to escape. But we're here to tell you that violence doesn't have to keep hurting, and you can change your life starting now with help from the Trauma Recovery Center. We want you to take control of your life. Today can be the day. The Trauma Recovery Center offers real help for real needs in real time. They offer services for food, clothes, safety, emotional support, and a whole lot more. So do not let violence control you. You can break free, and TRC can help. Give them a call at 216-644-5487. They will come to you wherever you are. They offer real help for real needs in real time. And check this out, they can give you the tools to rebuild your life and your health. Call today. They're free, they're 24/7 and confidential. 216-644-5487. So look, if you want out and don't know where to start, call the Trauma Recovery Center. The Trauma Recovery Center will help you take back your life after violence starting today. Call today. Get the help you need today. 216-644-5487. The Trauma Recovery Center of Northeast Ohio, also affiliated with the Center for Families and Children. And now back to Lupus Straight Up.
All right, we're back. And we're out. We have an hour left.
Yes. You know, I'm gonna step out and leave your show because I'm always taking over your show.
No, you can stay. You're already here. Choir practice isn't until
I'm
6:30.
doing time quiet practice. I just have something to do in the background. So
Thank you so much
No, you
for
guys
allowing
can
us
stay.
to come on.
Oh, no, it's not a problem at all. I just have to do something behind her. So here's you guys stay, you enjoy. I'm not leaving the room. I'm just gonna kids.
You can bring our junior broadcaster on. Sky. She can come on and speak. Well, it was very nice having our guests, and we have your numbers, and I will pass information on
Thank you so much.
to
Thank you
several of our church and our lupus support
So much. Yeah,
group.
and please, like I said, I would love to come back. With a Medicare specialist, bringing folks into the center. We could grab some lunch and we could meet our doctors and see what we're really about. Thank you for your hospitality,
And
and I
thank
appreciate
you.
all of your time. Okay, it's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
meeting you. Okay,
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Wonderful. I had a wonderful time. And we're not even over, but it was so nice. So nice. Good. I have seen this and I was like, I've seen the logo. And I'm like, okay, I've seen this logo. Okay. We're gonna have a nice we're gonna take a break real quick and then we'll come back and talk and chit chat.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good question too, man. Yeah. You know what? I love what you're saying.
The
quiet because he was like, wow. What the what?
Wow.
That was funny.
Wow. No, she didn't.
Okay.
Okay. Man, oh wow.
Okay. You heard about the girl from Cleveland, or Cleveland area, who was sentenced to 15 years to life.
Yeah, not long enough.
Right.
For killing her boyfriend and a friend, for jamming on her gas at 100 miles an hour and running into a brick building. She was a very young girl. I was trying to figure out how old she was, but I'm going to say she was about 20. The judge gave her 15 years to life, and the judge said, you do have parole in 15 years, but I guarantee you, you probably will not see the light of day. How do you feel about that? Because I feel, as a white girl going to jail, I mean, they said that she was trying, I don't know if she was trying to kill everybody or...
Wait, they were all in the car and she ran into the blank wall.
Well, yes, at 100 miles an hour.
Oh.
And she, wasn't nothing wrong with the girl when she went to jail. I mean, she was okay. And then the mama came up there and they were saying that it looked like she had no remorse because they showed her various stages of rehab, and she was going to the county fairs and she was going here, she was going there. She did not look like she was messed up. So the mom said, well, she didn't remember the crash. Baby, I'm sure they showed you pictures in various stages of your boyfriend and his friend, or your friend, and how messed up he was at that crash. And I would have been in Georgia. I don't know if they still have Lima State, but I would have been messed up from that.
You would have made it to there. They don't have it anymore.
They don't. So what is the new one?
Oakwood.
Oakwood. And where's Oakwood?
Across the street from Allen
Allen
Institute.
Institute of...
It's called ACI. And they're actually together. It's Oakwood Allen Correctional Institution.
Is that a prison?
It's a mental hospital.
So there's a mental hospital.
So they
Okay.
both merged together. It used to be Lima Psychiatric Center, the LCI, Lima Correctional Institution, but then they changed it because of the government funding. They would get more government funding if they turned it from a hospital into an institution, a prison / hospital.
Because Reagan shut down all the mental institutions.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. That's how it all started.
So it's a slash. It's a slash on there. It's still the same, but it's a slash. It's like a annex or offshoot to the institute. As far as, like, say for instance, the criminally insane, that's where they wind up at for a acute period of time, or different units. They have different units in the hospital that they take the guys from the institution. If they've done a long bit or a long time, they think they may need a break from the setting that they're in, from seeing violence that is concentrated. You say it's tough out here on the street. You can go in the house to close your door here, but there you're being watched 24/7, day and night.
I used to work at Cleveland Developmental Center over on Turney Road.
Okay.
I worked there for years. It was the state hospital. As a matter of fact, you actually saw you have rooms and stuff that were underground there.
Okay.
A lot of time, and it basically was for mentally retarded adults. But every now and then, when Lima was overflowed, they would actually send some of the patients to us.
Okay.
And they stuck me in one section of the hospital. They had just built a hospital there. I only to find out that this man hated women, and I was with him all day long alone, and he especially hated
Black women.
And he was a dangerous person, and I got stuck with him. So, but this girl, I mean, I don't know what to say about her. There's no remorse. She did, you know.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand how she came out okay
Without a scratch.
without a scratch.
Well, you know, it's just it happened after that. What she did, she gonna have a whole lot of scratches when it's said and done all in the end. It's gonna be a mental scratch.
Yeah.
Going through being in a gated community for 15 years. I mean, you know.
For life.
Yeah. No, it's the 15 at the minimum. In life, goes from 20 to 30 years. You know, she got baby life is 15 years. 10 to 15 years is baby life. So
I
she got
think
baby
she's
life.
like 18 because she was with an ankle bracelet. How do you let somebody
Because you know
from murder go home with an ankle bracelet?
The prisons are
If it was us,
they're overcrowded. They're overcrowded.
You be locked up to the court case.
right?
Then you said she was like in the hospital and they didn't see anything. She didn't look like. They need to. It's just like stuff like this has been happening forever now. It's like they still need to take in the fact that mental illness isn't always visible. Like they need to start
That's
looking
true.
into people like deeper and like understand because it's somebody like that could easily hide that they're like have those kinds of intentions all the time.
Well, you know, where they have arraignments for people that have psychosis and different, what you would call diagnosis. You know, a lot of times the doctor just wrote a stamp. If that doctor said you had this mental disorder, then the next doctor either just okay it, but sometimes their license depend on them saying, well, okay, well, this doctor been a doctor for so many years, then I'm okay because I'm coming up under this doctor, and this doctor's been a doctor for so many years. And his diagnosis, sometimes they have to take tests, even in the county facility. They have to take a test, and it's a questionnaire, and it asks you exactly questions that pertain to mental illness, and it all depends on what kind of case it is. You know, just like they said, you're supposed to have 2 lawyers, you're supposed to have a private investigator, and all is supposed to be a part of the team, but they get together and have preliminary hearings, and sometimes they say, well, okay, well, you're mentally capable of standing trial. If you're not mentally able to stand trial, then that's where they have these other programs that they're starting to have for the ones that are mentally ill. But, you know, we're, as melanated people, don't really have the opportunity to be put in those programs because they have so many people that are in federal as well as state institutions that have the opportunity to say, oh, well, Billy Bob, he's, you know, he just, I don't know, he just like burning up cats, or, you know, he's just doing this squirrel. But they know that the child that have a problem because they say it's an act of behavior versus mental illness. See, that's where they get a lot of twisted. A lot of guys may have, or girls may have, a behavior problem that they say, well, it's a misdiagnosis of the mental illness. So they're saying, well, she's 16, he's 15, they got a kid, and then by the time they get 20, then that kid that they have a kid, she 15 or 16. That's a generation gap, and it's still where the older generation say, well, I don't really bother with them because they all want to do the same thing, drink and get high and fight. Versus saying, well, I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to give back to them. Starting with your family first, because no one knows you better than your family do. You could be sleeping with a person and still, you know, say, well, I know him a little bit different than you do because he's snoring in my face, he ain't snoring in yours. So, you know, yeah, I think I do know a little different about him. So, you know, versus saying, well, you know I'm his sister, and you know I'm his brother, and I know all about him. And it's no, you don't. You're smelling gas when past gas. You don't know none of that. When I feed them, you know how I act when I feed them, when I don't feed them, because it's just a part of being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Then you got some of the guys that, think they players. You got girl over here, girl over there. That is not cool. That is a square out of a square. One is good. You don't need to have a whole bunch of them because you think about it, that plays a part in your mental too. Because you live in a what you would call a fantasy, or not actually you not being mature, trying to have more than one type of individual. It'd be different if your friend is a friend, but trying to say I'm gonna be with this person, that person. You set yourself up for failure, especially if you've been in one of the environments for a long period of time. Or even before you go to that, you can say, well, some of the childhood things, carry over to your adult. So you're saying, well, okay, well, my grandmother, she had a hands-on molding me, making me a respectful young man or young lady because this is what my grandmother was taught. And then you can run into some people that maybe the baby boomers. Well, we're taught different. So you respect your elders. You don't disrespect them.
And you're seen and not heard.
You talking about talking back? What?
Right?
Did you what? Did you utter what to me? And then you wonder why all of a sudden you say, okay, we'll go to your room. Or go stand in the corner for a little bit. And you be like, well, why did I stand in this corner? That's what they ask now. Who got to stand in this corner? Why did I stand in? They'll go stand in the corner for a little bit. And then hold your arms up. It's like, okay, I ain't got to whoop you. No, I'm gonna take your phone from you. I'm gonna take your computer from you, and that hurts a lot better now than well, I'll take the whoop as long as I got my game. As long as I can get my phone, I'll take the whoop, and you take that phone away, it's like, oh, well, it hurts it.
But too, and you were talking about that, and Sky, I do agree with you that a lot of times a mental illness can be hidden. I worked with a genius. This man was, as a matter of fact, he was a doctor. He was a genius. He could diagnose better than the medical staff that was in the hospital that we were there. Mm-hmm. It took one incident for him to just
freak out.
Because there's a thin line between mental health and being a genius.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. A lot of times society says what you can and cannot do. You're talking about, as a baby boom, we got whoopers, we got spankings. Mm-hmm. One of the policemen coming to your house because your parents laid hands on you. Mm-hmm. You understand? Now they're telling you, no, that's the wrong thing to do. Every child is different. Every child does not need to have hands laid. There are some children that can be spoken to that, like,
they get scared.
Yeah, they get scared.
I won't do it
and
no
I'm
more.
not going to do this again. I understand what you're saying. But society says now that's abuse. They don't want you to raise your voice. And they've almost given, I hate to say it, but they've almost given children more power than
the parents.
Because the kids aren't afraid of anything. They're not afraid of you. They're not afraid of anything.
They ain't scared.
Because they don't have to atone for what they're doing.
Because they'll tell their parents, make me go to school. I don't have to go to school.
And I would make you. Because they would find you in that school first.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't do. You understand what I'm saying? It's simply not. It's not done. It's frowned upon.
Because when your parents had to come to school for something you did wrong, you didn't want to go home. You didn't want to go home. It was like that was a long walk home.
Yep, long ride or whatever it was.
Yeah,
you were hoping they took a lot of curves. So
I was like, please let this car blow up.
But you learned, but you learn from that, and granted, I've seen abuse. I've seen not particularly with my, but I've seen a person be abused by their parents. There's a difference between discipline and abuse. There is.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's just too much.
Yeah.
Of social media and everybody telling you, because like you said, you don't live with this child.
No.
I wake up to this child.
Yeah.
I wake up to, even with my dad, and he had dementia. My father didn't pass till he was 94. But I wake up to this. I wake up with him trying to go home, or to, you know what I'm saying, you know, and you're like, okay, and you have to remember, you know, when you get cases like that, this is not the same person that you knew.
Yeah.
You know, this is not, he doesn't know. This is not the same person that, you know. So when I lost my temper a lot of times, then I would have to go pray.
You
like,
catch yourself.
You have to. You have to.
Yes.
So, you know,
Appreciate
we're
you.
talking about this girl, but and you know, maybe she has more medical, but I just feel like if she was a melanated person, there'd be no
That's
sympathy.
what I was gonna say. It could also be a case of negligence because she is white, and it could be a case of negligence at home and on the doctor's side as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of that in the medical system overall. Period. There's a lot of negligence with black people, a lot of negligence with white people, just all over. They could have just let her by, like, oh well, she's fine. She could just, you know, go through some classes and she'll be okay later, knowing that they could probably look into it, but because she's white, you know, we could give her a pass because, you know,
Privilege.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you know what, Scott? I have a question for you. Because you're growing up, you know, and you see a lot in school that we can't see. You know, your friends, you know, like you tell me, like, Grandma, sometimes these people are not what you think is something special in here. So, I guess you're not the right person to ask because we know, you know that if you need anything, if you have to talk, you got a plethora of people to talk to, starting with your mom. But you also have friends. What do you tell your friends that you know you can see like there's something? Because I know you've had conversations with a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? And just
So that would be called peer pressure.
yeah. So I'm asking her, you know, because you know we've seen some strange things happen with you and your friends. I mean, how do you approach them? Do you just say, "Hey, come over here to sit down and talk," or?
Yeah. I mean, I usually tell them, like, you know, like later, oh, hey, yeah, we can talk later and everything. Because I don't want to, you know, I'm not a very, like, oh, yeah, let's start this in public, let's have this conversation right here type person. That's like, I don't do that. I don't think that's the right thing to do. So, like, when we're in private, like, when we're, like, in, like, a private, like, area, where, like, it's, like, enough, like, it's, like, the right setting to talk and everything like that, then I will, you know. It's, like, I'll tell them straight up. I'm not going to lie to them.
Mackenzie Sharilla, that's her name.
Okay.
The
See,
boy
I
was
think
20
more people need that.
and 19, so she was probably around that age.
But didn't she think the boy was cheating on her or something? Or
Yeah.
she thought that the person was, you know, I mean, what she threw was a tantrum.
She was 19. Yeah.
She knew better.
She done.
Faces an automatic life sentence and will have to spend 15 years behind bars before she can apply for parole.
Now, you know, they go by fast, but don't go by fast enough. But when you get there, it changes up. You get in the fights, it extends the life part. The life part is infinity. It's a 0, 0, 0, 9, 9. Life is don't have no tail. That means her 15 years is her minimum that she got to do. Minimum. So she catch more time in the institution and fights and outside cases. They add on to the minimum to her life. So say for instance, you started with a 15 in life, catch it for long just up. You put the 12 with the 15 and make it a 27. Or you catch a escape case, they put the 3 on with they put on the latter end versus the ones the max. The max is you don't have no number that ends. It's the number that goes on and on and on. Some say 888 000 999. That is actually what they have on the certificate that they give you when they sentence you. It started with a 15, say 20, and then it's got life. And that's some people call it an elbow.
She was arguing with the boy.
So even if she does 15, she gonna see 40 something before she's.
It all depends if she does good behavior, she get on an iron farm, get a work progress, or sometimes you can appeal it. She took it to court as far as but with a jury, the jury found her guilty. She can always appeal. So I mean, if any new evidence comes up,
I think she was
grounds
found.
Grounds for her to come back, and she can always bring new evidence. You can bring her back and be tried in front of the parole board, or the judge can let her back out. I don't think you have no shock probation, shock parole. They also have other avenues that she can use as far as appeal or appeal the decision. But the way they have her now, it's like
She said she was.
She accepted that 15.
She was 17 at the time of the crash. Faces automatic life. Have to spend 15 years behind bars.
So she got bonded. She got bonded over.
She had Judge Nancy Margaret Russo. She had a mission, and she executed it with precision. The decision was death, who held the trial without a jury. Her actions were controlled, methodical, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. I'm like, how deep can that be? This was not reckless driving.
Right.
This was murder.
This was intentional.
Yeah.
See, and I
Go
feel
ahead.
like see, she has temperament issues, like way deeper than just me saying that. But it's like
Argument.
I feel like something like that runs way deeper. Like her family, her mother, somebody's hiding something. I feel like it'll be like they make like some kind of news report about her, and her mom be like, "Oh, well, yeah, she was always a bit of like a little rough houser when she was younger. She wasn't a rough houser. She had anger issues. She was aggressive." That's what I feel. That's what kind of situation that seems like.
And I can understand you now, Sky. And then, I've seen some of these anger management.
Oh
They
yeah.
are for the birds.
For the birds.
They are for the birds. They don't solve or create anything. I mean, not the ones that
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Okay.
So, because some of them teach you coping skills.
Okay.
Some of them teach you how to walk away. Just,
No,
and at the end of the day, it's like, I got to think for you and me, because I'm not worried about what you're going to do to me. If I'm angry, I know what I'm going to do to you. So, and then a lot of persons don't know who they're dealing with. You expose a person. You never know what kind of character, and even more if they're quiet, don't say nothing. You are more dangerous by not saying anything versus shouting back out. Because they don't never know never know what kind of bag you're gonna come out of.
JJ, I gotta tell you this. You know what? And it's so funny because that's an old Richard Pryor joke.
No, that's the truth.
No. I'm just saying that was an old Richard Pryor. It is the truth.
It's the truth.
But he said on an album, this was years ago when Richard Pryor was young. He
Rest
said,
in peace.
Yes, he said, let a woman stop talking. He said, let her shut down and get nice. Now you don't know where her head is at.
That's right.
You don't know what she's thinking. She's gonna treat you. He said, if you want to scare a person, stop talking. Be nice. And you was just doing that, just shh.
And go to sleep.
Yep, you would be surprised at how many people took that to heart and they did it. And it works. Because now you don't know what that person is thinking. That person, in your case, and in a mental person's perspective, they are boiling on the inside. But they're not showing you anything. They're not showing you their hurt and sometimes you'd rather for somebody to go, instead of just nothing.
Yeah.
Just nothing. And I thought about that, and that is so true. That is very true. So.
Now this is the disgusting part. The wreck was found by a passerby 45 minutes later. Police arrived. They found Russo and Flanagan dead. Sherilla was trapped in the driver's seat with a fuzzy Prada slipper stuck to the accelerator.
So you have to explain how she walked away because this was planned.
This was planned.
It was intentional. This was planned. So you have to. What did she do? So She was uninjured.
So she got away with it.
She was
Yeah.
uninjured.
So
They
I guess
said
she
they
was
found
involuntary
drugs in the
manslaughter
car.
versus
They didn't say
murder.
what kind.
So I mean, it could have been vehicular murder.
They called her
Vehicular
vehicular homicide.
Yeah.
Vehicular
So-
homicide.
You said they found drugs in the car, so did they do drug tests on her? Did they?
They didn't say. They just said they had drugs. She had drugs.
Wow.
And where's this?
I mean, it also the drugs. If she took any, that could have been a huge impact. Most likely she did take some, but it could have also been a huge factor into that because that could definitely change.
Cause you know, Sky, you're right.
But there also could be also like a motive behind that too. Like she also could have like really wanted to. Yeah, drugs can like hide.
Relax you.
It can relax you, and it can also heighten certain emotions as well.
And that brings you on 146, the house at the very corner there. It's different from any other house on Bartlett at 146. Used to be my Uncle Reggie's house.
What? You know him?
Reggie White?
No.
Let me get up
Oh Lord. Here we go. Another family
we will
member.
talk. We will
here.
talk.
Small world.
But anyway,
Small world.
an alcohol or a guy had been drinking, lost control of the car, and went right through the bedroom window. He did. He landed on the bed.
Sure
He
did.
sure did. He landed on the bed.
It was a Nova.
Yeah. And
Those
besides,
were the
you
good
can attest
Novas.
for this. The man was like, "How'd I get here?" You know, not a scratch
He
on
sure
him.
did.
Not a scratch on him, but he went. That entire car was in that bedroom, right? And he was on the bed. But the man, not one scratch, because he was inebriated. He was drunk. He was relaxed.
That's what I'm saying. It also could have been the adrenaline. He wasn't feeling anything.
This is true too, but he was like, "I'm in somebody's bedroom." I'm just.
What? You got your ball, okay?
I think I got JJ. I said my Reggie's house.
But
It was so special.
because I was saying it could like, it was like I was saying it could like definitely heighten one's feelings, and I feel like she could have acted on her being high or drunk or whatever what they were doing before and everything. Like she definitely could have acted on those emotions.
That's like giving her an excuse.
Yeah.
That's giving her an excuse. She knew better.
He called her
17.
star.
He did. He said star.
What's up,
Maybe
star?
they could.
She's the reason for a star.
But I feel like it's like I mean, yeah, it does kind of sound like an excuse, but it's like
Yeah, because you know they have. I think she spent 2 years in that county jail going through psychiatric testing and watching
Can she
her.
stand trial?
And watching her for her to get, they bonded her over because she was as a juvenile. They keep you alive as a juvenile.
17. Don't they try you as an adult?
She got bonded over. Actually, they could keep her until she was either 21 or 29 at the max.
I guess her parents didn't have enough money for that.
Yeah, they had enough money. It just did. It was such a when you have it was a headline story when you have one of those open really what you call that when they have a lot of publicity. It was a lot of publicity in that, so they had to send her away as an example. And you know it's around election time now again too. So when the election time comes, usually have a lot of people incarcerated. They start talking about they need more police. We need to crack down on this. We need to crack down on that. The mayor comes out. Yes, we need to repeal this, and we're gonna repeal that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make a new jail. And that promote more jail. So we already have an idea who they're gonna lock up in it. There ain't gonna be a whole bunch of people out of Garfield, but you know. And the people on both sides were saying, you know, why are we going to build another prison? You already got one downtown Cleveland, now you're going to build another one. So, I mean, you know, I guess what it seems like you got to buy stocks in prison now. Because it's just what's popping up. Ohio has the most prison in the United States. 35 prisons. They closed down
And
3.
they're public, not private.
No, we got some private ones. I think we got three private ones. But they closed down 3 in the last 33 years.
Good.
The first one was OSR. The second one was Orient. And the third one was Lima State Hospital. From the only 3 institutions that they closed down. So, I mean, you know, they when they juveniles and they on the second or third floor, they say, well, they'll be waiting for you. They got a bed for you in the big house. And they would say, how do you know that this young man in his behavior is going to wind him up or her back up in the prison because they already set them up for failure. You know what I'm saying? They designed them to be failures. So what do you classify as failure? Well, you know, I had a person ask me, do you have a well-knitted family versus everybody just go about their way? Or do your family get together? And what kind of moral support you have? And it's like, even being here with the radio station, it's like a family. Everybody, hey, JJ, you know, you have positive input in your life. And I was telling one of my friends that, you know, I could never imagine 1,000 years that I'll be at the plateau that I'm at. And I'm still trying to become a better person, to be a better man. Each day I live, I try to be better because I know what could happen to me, where I could wind up being someplace I don't want to be, where they tell you eat, sleep, take a shower, play basketball, or play cards 3 times a day.
Okay.
So, I mean, but like I said again, I don't want to take it too far from what we was talking about the lupus and living with a person that has lupus. A person dying 38 years old. I mean, that's a trauma alone. Can you imagine losing your mama at 38 years old and you 50 some odd years old now?
My mom was younger. She was 29.
I was 29 when I lost my mom. And that was my best friend. My mom was super mommy.
It's tough.
It is.
You know what?
It's a voice that you just want to hear one more time.
It changes your whole
Psyche
your whole chemistry.
and mentality.
It changes your whole chemistry up, you know, because you put it in situations that, you know, I guess like God said, don't kill you, make you stronger. So, I guess I have adopted a new mom. She don't know it yet, but I'll keep calling her mom. Keep calling her mom. And I didn't realize that she really could be my mama. You know, after she told me what she told me today, it just blew my wig. I got my little curly hair, my little that straightened up a little bit when she said that. So, oh my
I
God.
told him you need to keep it cut every 2 weeks.
Right.
He hard head.
She put it up on the screen. I said, look at them beads.
Same way.
The beads on the head. I said, boy, you need to like those guys with they fistball.
Do you concur, Sky? Do you concur he needs to get a haircut every 2 weeks?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I need to see every 2 weeks. Look, I need to see like the 2 weeks of growth.
Okay.
What about what about once a month? I say once a month.
No, every 2 weeks. If you want to, it look cute when it's down. You look different when it's actually
See that their secrets are down.
Get a nice line. I think
Yeah. But one thing I did, they were saying that the police are hiring police. Cleveland police are hiring because everybody is dropping out of the police academy.
Because you know what? Because and I think I can speak on the police. They don't have the same standards that they used to have.
No.
They don't even have the same height level they used to have.
No.
I mean,
Sure don't.
They don't,
Short,
because
fat.
there was a time you had to be at least 5'6"
Yes.
to be a police officer,
Yeah.
and I have a cousin that I'm sure if I lifted my leg, I could step on him. And he.
And you saw what they did to
short.
Frank Jackson's grandson.
That's what I'm saying. He is that short. And I'm like, what is he going to do? Tackle him at the knees? I mean,
Yeah.
It's really, and they do need to have some sort of mental.
You got to be down in Cleveland.
You
I
have
mean,
to
this
be,
ain't
but
no
they
little
still,
country town.
right? But you still, and believe it or not, if anybody knows the history of Cleveland, Elliot Ness could not handle this city.
They could not.
Elliot Ness, and the only reason that he got Al Capone was on taxes, not what Al
That's
Capone had
right.
done before. But when he got here, he could not handle the gangs and the organized crime in this city. He just started drinking, became an alcoholic in this city. So I mean, that's just part of. See, I grew up around a lot of different people aside from policemen, but there was a code. There was. I mean, when you saw a police officer, you knew what that was. It wasn't somebody that you looked at and said, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
There was also a police officer had to speak to a priest, a pastor, a rabbi, or something. They had to talk. There had to be some kind of conversation. Where their mental health was at the time.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, like my dad came out of World War II and became a police officer.
Right. A lot of them come out the
Right,
military.
so the military is enough to blow you away, to blow your mind. So you have to come here with a mindset that doesn't say every time something jump, I'm gonna shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Trigger happy.
Right, exactly, being trigger happy. The other thing is, especially for policemen of color, is that the Klan was strong.
It still is in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
That's the heart. That's the heart of.
The Klan was strong police department, and you knew who, and you knew what you need to take a wide berth, and you know, the past chief of police said that when he spoke about my father, had it not been for this man, I'd be dead today. He said because when he came in, he was gonna change everything. He said, I'm fresh. You can't tell me nothing. He said my father put him in a jail cell, told him to shut up. Your mouth can't hear anything.
Okay.
2. Capital E.
Yeah. So I mean, it was also, back when I grew up, a little boy said, I want to be a police officer. I want to be a fireman. I want to be this. Now, that's the farthest thing from their mind because of the perspective that you have of police nowadays because, in my opinion, they watch too much TV.
I saw a fire department, Cleveland Fire Department, just the other day at a residence, and they had a white captain. And it's like I said, well, I remember years ago, and I asked him, I said, do y'all have auxiliary firemen? It's like, no, not auxiliary firemen, but Cleveland have auxiliary police.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, you go online, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, I said firemen. I said, when I was younger, I had the opportunity to be exposed to how a fire station ran. That was on Huff. I said, that's an old fire station. He said, you know what? He said, all the fire stations in Cleveland is old.
Yeah,
they
they
were.
were.
I said,
All
they
of them was
were.
old. Especially the one, it was like down, was it Bartlett?
131st.
Yeah.
Well, they redid that one.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I said, I remember, right? I said, this shit. I was trying. I said, I'm being the devil out here. I said, y'all gonna ride anybody around the block today in the fire truck today? He said, no. I said, years ago, y'all would come to the community. I said, young guy want to ride around the fire truck. Y'all pick one weekend out of the month and take the kids and ride around the truck.
You did, because I got to go, I got to slide down that pole. There was a time that the schools took field trips to the fire
department. Fire station.
Sure did. Sure did.
Have you ever gone Star?
We're gonna send Sky
Star
out
in
here.
the sky.
She just changed her name.
Sky go get Star.
That's the other part.
Sky.
That's your stage name.
Okay, we're gonna give you that's your stage name because we don't want nobody to know who you really are.
No, I've never been. I've been to the zoo 20 times.
Right, see
Oh.
that exactly.
More than that,
Yeah.
shoot.
Right, you know, exactly.
Wow.
And the Natural History Museum.
Yeah, like
That's
that's
good.
good.
That's
No,
good.
That's good.
no, those cadavers. No, we've seen them. Those animal spirits. They know us by name.
They don't change. They don't change.
Yeah, so that, you know,
We
there's
look each
something
other in
like
the eye like, oh, you again.
Okay, so Sky, do you know where the Terminal Tower is?
The Terminal Tower. I think maybe.
See what I'm saying? The Terminal Tower is Tower City.
Oh.
And again, going back in the day, we went to the top of the Terminal Tower, and you could see all of Cleveland.
That was a heck of a thing. You know, 'cause after you go so far up, you don't, there's no elevator. You got to climb stairs.
And you go to the top, and you can say, "Oh my goodness, I know Cleveland look like this." These are the things that our kids are missing out on.
They really are.
You know, this city actually has a lot to offer.
I'm gonna reiterate here. Now, all my family, or the people that I meet, I take them to the National Monument that used to be in front of Cleveland Board of Education on 9th Street. Is it 9th Street? And I had the opportunity to show Cece where some of my family members have passed and their name is on that monument.
Oh wow.
And it's like, I don't bring a whole bunch of people down here and show them that. But,
So when JJ got lost, I dropped him
should,
off at
though.
the bank.
That's something you supposed to show
And
everybody.
I'm driving around trying to find him. I see him walking, just walking like, I said, if you don't bring your butt over here and get in the car, see, that's the problem with JJ. So our plan is, if you ever get lost downtown, meet at the monument. And that is going to be the show for right now. But I did want to say one thing, and this would piss me off.
Okay.
Frank Jackson's son, great-grandson, got 18 years to life for killing that person.
Okay.
And he had armed robbery charges. That guy was cased up. Because he was one of them Jacksons that was always getting in trouble. And then the mama was in jail. Remember the mama was in jail? So they was, Frank Jackson was in the courtroom and he couldn't do nothing but hold his head. He was just like, he was there. He didn't say nothing. But the mama got up, the mother of the dead child, said, all you did, you had the keys to the city, but all you did was terrorize and torment this city. And they didn't show her. She didn't want to be shown.
Of course
but she
not.
sold her son. And I was like, you can't say it any better, okay? But he got off. I mean, they had him all, bonded up and all wrapped up into the cufflinks and handcuffs and everything. 18 years of life. And I hope you do every bit of it.
Wait.
I shouldn't. But he got
He
a rap sheet this
He took
long.
lives and stuff, JJ. What?
He killed so many.
Wait a minute. What's that for, JJ? No.
I'm not really on big on.
That's black. Like they say.
I'm not an advocate.
But JJ, he took lives. Like, how do you excuse that?
No, I didn't say I excuse that. I said I'm not an advocate on locking up.
But you gotta be when wrong is wrong. No matter who you are, wrong is wrong. And he's a different way.
I hear you, but it's a lot of dark places in the system.
Well, guess what?
Well,
It's a way to
that's
avoid
gonna
that.
wake them up.
Okay, it's a way to avoid that. It is a way to avoid. There's a way to avoid it.
Don't get
how
up yet.
about not put yourself in the system?
That's right, because
Hello?
she said all you wanted to do was be a thug. You
Yes.
had every opportunity to become anything you wanted to be.
Your grandfather was the mayor.
Was the mayor.
How do you philander that away?
No,
Like he did.
You know what?
Like they did.
I'm not trying to, like I said,
We gotta wrap this up because
yeah,
we got
I
somebody
got
coming.
somebody
Or if
coming.
he's here.
But still, I say, and they're starting to get to it. You know what I'm saying? That far like Scott was saying, the mental illness it tells you even on the commercial how many people that it actually touches. And then you say, well, the war on poverty and I've been seeing lately when I've been going around. I got my little car.
Let's wrap it up.
I see a lot of people sleeping in hallways, no places to sleep, and I mean it's really terrible that our city is. But I would rather be a person sleeping on the street than be incarcerated because they treat you so bad in there. So I mean, it's still.
They can find a
I'm
job.
not trying to justify nobody's wrongdoing because
I can understand that.
it's just that sometimes when you put in a situation, you know what I'm saying, you kill yourself by just doing that. Your conscience will whoop you enough. If you keep living, your conscience really will whoop you.
And guess what, JJ? For some it don't. That's why they spend a lifetime going back and forth in there.
And some of them be happy to go back because they get 3 squares and a cot.
That's what you call a career.
And they get medical treatment.
I've seen women happy to go to Marysville, and they were actually picking where they wanted to go. I mean,
I'm just like, baby, you can't pay me to go. I might not have enough gas or anything like that, but I can make it to my house, okay? And I just want to, hey, I'm not driving 100 miles an hour into a building just because I get into an argument with my boyfriend.
Listen.
It ain't worth it.
Listen.
It ain't worth it, Miss Seeley. It ain't worth it. He ain't worth it.
Okay.
It's time to go to another man, and there's plenty of them out here.
Plenty.
And remember that, Sky.
Sky can say that ain't her concern right now.
But I'm not right now. Okay, I'm just saying, there's plenty of the fish in the sea, and these crazy ones out here, there's sane ones, very sane ones who will respect you.
Yeah, I should demand it.
And you will demand it. And if they don't, what, woman?
No, how about this? 2 peas in a bucket. Ain't no tears in my eyes. I ain't gonna cry.
I ain't gonna cry.
Okay.
So we would like to thank everybody that was here, devoted healthcare, who was fantastic. They were fantastic. Emma Figueroa and her boss, Ray Feliciano.
Yes.
And we also will have them back again with the representative so we can talk more about it.
And I'm excited because I'm thinking like we should do something once a month, once our connection begins.
Yes.
We should do something once a month there at the
I think so.
Yeah,
I think they'll be great for sponsorship
yes.
since this is on Medicaid. I do appreciate everybody for listening, and we do. Is there anything you would like to say? And we don't want to get long-winded, but we just want to say thank you, everybody, for listening.
Bam. Can we get some bam, bam, bam?
Yes, the show. The show I wanted to talk about was Average Joe, because it did come to the finale last week, and I love that show. It's done for the season, and the guy's a comedian that was one of the main characters. He was fantastic, and I'm giving going back to the Flintstones. Bam! 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 I love it.
Can you print that for me?
I got pictures of that.
I can do it. I have you seen it on my phone.
That's not a good picture of me.
Bye, y'all.
But like I said, everybody that's listening, we want to wish you love, peace, and so see you at choir practice, because we on our way, and
hallelujah.
Everybody be safe out there. It's thundering and lightning, or it was when we were coming down here. So, um, just be safe out there and be blessed. See you everybody next week. Ski wee, my sorors. Ski wee.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that. Listen, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to Lupus Straight Up with the host CC and J here on a station where we don't bring no static, but we sure don't bring the noise on staticradio.net. Make sure you guys check us out on social media where we absolutely love to hear from you on Facebook.com/No Static Radio LLC, on Twitter at No Static _radio, on Instagram @TheReal _No Static Radio, on YouTube at No Static Radio, and our newest platform Discover.tv. Soon to be renamed under the Decisive Media brand. Yeah. So, listen, for replays, mixfamiliescloud.com for continuous streaming, tunein.com, live on liveradio.net, or MediaQ for continuous streaming of this show and all others on the platform for all things of Static Radio, including other company merchandise.
Thanks for being a
And
host.
that's what all our great show hosts here. Please check out our website at www.nostaticradio.net. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned. Guess what? Ron is at Akron, y'all, so y'all get to do your workout today. Let's get busy. Let's break some backs, bend some legs, y'all. It's time to work out on the Speakeasy Radio Show. So Wednesday night house party. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Scratch all that stuff down there on the what's the name you got? You said you like incense too, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna bring you some down here for a little change.